Welcome back to Bible Insights, where we explore the inspiring stories of women in the Bible, bringing valuable insights into their lives and the lessons they teach us. In this episode, we explore the remarkable story of a woman caught in adultery, found in the Gospel of John, Chapter 8. It was a typical day in the temple courts, with Jesus, the compassionate teacher, captivating the crowd with his profound wisdom and grace. People from all walks of life had gathered to hear his teachings, seeking guidance and solace in the words of the Messiah. As Jesus taught, a sense of peace enveloped the courtyard, and hearts were stirred with hope. Amidst the peaceful atmosphere, a group of scribes and Pharisees appeared, carrying with them an air of hostility. They brought a woman caught in the act of adultery, dragging her into the crowd and causing a hushed stir among the onlookers. "Teacher," one of the scribes pointed at the woman. "This woman was caught in the very act of adultery." Another spoke up. "Moses' law commands us to stone such women. What do you say?" The crowd's attention shifted from Jesus to the woman standing before them, her face flushed with shame and fear. Her heart pounded in her chest as she felt the weight of her mistakes bearing down on her. The accusing eyes of the crowd intensified her feelings of guilt. The woman stood there, vulnerable and exposed, feeling the weight of her mistakes bearing down on her. Jesus knew the hearts of the religious leaders and sought to use this woman's sin as a means to challenge his teachings. As the dust settled and the woman locked eyes with Jesus, she saw something in him that she had never experienced before, a love and understanding that transcended her actions. Jesus' gaze was not one of condemnation but of genuine care and concern for her well-being. Tears welled up in her eyes as she waited for Jesus' response. She knew the consequences prescribed by the law for her actions, and she was prepared for the worst. Yet, in the depths of her heart, a glimmer of hope emerged. Perhaps this teacher, unlike the others, would see her beyond her sin and offer a chance at redemption. Instead of responding immediately, Jesus stooped down and began writing on the ground. His action puzzled the crowd and the religious leaders, who demanded an answer from him. The significance of Jesus' act of writing on the ground remains a mystery to this day. Some biblical scholars speculate that he may have been writing down the sins of the religious leaders, or simply using the moment to provide a pause for reflection. Regardless of the exact reason, this gesture heightened the tension and anticipation in the air. Finally, Jesus rose to his feet, fixing his gaze on the religious leaders. He said, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her." And with that simple statement, he silenced them all. Jesus' response challenged the religious leaders to confront their own imperfections and recognize their need for grace and forgiveness. As they stared at the ground, contemplating their actions and sins, the stones they had held so eagerly moments before now felt like burdens too heavy to bear. One by one, the religious leaders, humbled by their own imperfections, walked away in shame. The crowd, too, dispersed, leaving only Jesus and the woman behind. With the departure of the accusers, the atmosphere in the village square changed. The tension lifted, and a sense of calm and relief enveloped the woman. She had expected judgment and condemnation, but instead, she found herself faced with the profound love and mercy of Jesus. Jesus then turned to the woman, his eyes filled with compassion, and asked, "Has no one condemned you?" She replied, "No one, Lord." And Jesus said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go now and leave your life of sin, and sin no more." Jesus' response to the woman was not a dismissal of her sin, but an acknowledgement of her worth as a human being. By affirming her value and offering forgiveness, Jesus empowered her to leave behind her life of sin and embrace a new path. In that moment, the woman's life changed forever. The weight of her guilt lifted, and she found herself forgiven and free. She experienced a transformative power in Jesus' forgiveness that would shape her life in a new direction. As the woman looked into the eyes of her Savior, she saw a future filled with hope and promise. No longer burdened by shame, she was determined to make amends for her mistakes and seek a life of righteousness. As we delve deeper into the story of the woman caught in adultery, we begin to see the bigger picture it paints about the nature of humanity, the importance of empathy, and the transformative power of forgiveness. This timeless narrative transcends the pages of the Bible, speaking directly to our hearts and minds even in the world today. In examining the actions of the religious leaders, we are reminded of the dangers of self-righteousness and judgment. Their eagerness to condemn the woman exposed the flaws in their own characters, as they lacked the humility to recognize their own imperfections. It serves as a cautionary tale, warning us against the pitfalls of hypocrisy and the tendency to elevate ourselves above others. Conversely, Jesus' response showcases the essence of true compassion and unconditional love. He does not dismiss or downplay the woman's sin, but he refuses to be a part of the cycle of condemnation and instead offers her a chance at redemption. This act of forgiveness reveals the boundless mercy of God, teaching us that no sin is too great to be forgiven and that everyone deserves a second chance. The story of the woman caught in adultery remains profoundly relevant in today's world, where judgment and condemnation often seem more prevalent than compassion and understanding. In our society, social media platforms, news outlets, and even interpersonal interactions can be filled with harsh criticism and public shaming. However, Jesus' response challenges us to adopt a different approach, to be more compassionate, empathetic, and slow to judge. We must recognize that every person has struggles, and instead of jumping to conclusions, we should seek to understand their experiences and offer support. Furthermore, this story reminds us of the transformative power of forgiveness, both in receiving it and extending it to others. Holding on to grudges and dwelling on the mistakes of the past only serves to weigh us down with bitterness. When we choose to forgive, we not only free the other person from guilt but also liberate ourselves from the burden of anger and resentment. The story of the woman caught in adultery calls us to examine our own hearts and actions. Are we quick to condemn others without considering our own flaws? Do we offer grace and forgiveness to those who have hurt us? Are we willing to be agents of positive change, promoting compassion and understanding in a world that often lacks them? Furthermore, this narrative sheds light on the issue of gender equality and the treatment of women in society. In the time of Jesus, women faced significant marginalization, and their rights were often disregarded. Yet, in this story, Jesus demonstrates a radical stance by treating the woman with respect and dignity and refusing to contribute to her public humiliation. Today, this message encourages us to continue advocating for gender equality and treating all individuals with fairness and respect, regardless of their gender. In conclusion, the story of the woman caught in adultery is not just a historical event, but a living parable with profound significance for our lives today. It calls us to embrace empathy, forgiveness, and understanding, promoting a culture of love and compassion that can positively impact our relationships, communities, and the world at large. As we reflect on this story and its message for today, may we be inspired to embrace the transformative power of grace, to reject the allure of self-righteousness, and to foster a world where understanding and forgiveness triumph over judgment and condemnation. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey through the story of the woman caught in adultery. We hope this episode has provided you with valuable insights and encouragement to apply these lessons in your daily life. Remember to share this video with others and subscribe to our channel for more enlightening content on the lives of women in the Bible. May we all strive to be compassionate and forgiving, reflecting the love of Christ in every aspect of our lives. Until next time, may the grace and wisdom of the Bible continue to guide and inspire us. God bless you all.